First up, you have the Queen of Cups. Then you have the Magician. Then you have the Star. Your challenge for the month is the Ace of Cups in reverse. And what's recommended for you is the Knight of Swords. So I kind of feel like you've gone through some type of healing thing. Like the Queen of Cups, she's very, very emotionally stable. But I feel like she's gotten to this place because she's kind of gone through a lot of different experiences, and through her wisdom and through experiences, she's kind of gained this level of emotional stability. Like she's very nurturing. She's able to help other people when they're having a problem. She's able to comfort people. Like she's able to help guide people. And that's extremely positive. But I feel like she's gotten to that place because she's gone through some of it herself. And has a very deep understanding of herself. So I think you guys maybe have kind of gone through something a little bit, but now you've like almost like overcome, and you've been able to, I don't want to say put certain things to bed, because sometimes we have ghosts or we have emotional things that haunt us, and they haunt us all our lives. But sometimes we're able to kind of level up a certain situation emotionally or mentally, where we recognize something wasn't good for us, and now we have to move forward, or we have to see it in a different way, or we can't have it eat at us anymore. And I feel like you guys might have done some work in the past or the recent past, and you've gone through like a dark night of the soul, and you've kind of healed from it to a certain degree, enough where you're able to kind of manage it. And I feel like you might have gained a lot of clarity within yourself. So that's excellent. And I think now during the month, you're going to start playing around a little bit. The Magician is a card of having everything you need, because I feel like you might be really going, I don't want to say in a new direction, because I don't necessarily get that 100% here, but I think you're trying something a little bit different. Because the Magician, he's a showman, but he has to figure out the best combination of what this represents. So he's working on this, and I think you might actually be like, I don't want to say rebirthing yourself in a sense, but I think you've gone through something, and now you're trying to figure out the best mixture, or figure out the best, how to combine different aspects of your life effectively to really be a more productive person, be a more positive person, be more whatever type of person, but something that's going to benefit you in the long run. So I think you're trying to figure out the little details of this. You're trying to figure out how to blend something, how to kind of combine things in a sense to create the life that you want, or create aspects in your life to kind of flow a little bit more easily. But the thing with the Magician, because he's putting on a show. So he's playing with all these different tools. He's trying to get this rabbit out the hat. He's doing whatever. But I see him as very, he's entertaining, obviously, but he's very rolling with the punches as well. If something happens during a show and it doesn't go quite right, he has to keep the crowd entertained. A good magician is able to kind of take any situation and kind of roll with it and still make it fun, still make it fresh. He's very kind of like off the cuff and able to kind of remain in control even during times of disaster. Now, the control might not be like a full type of control, but a control in a sense where he's not easily shaken. So I think you might be trying to work on things and remain flexible with it, and have things, even if things come up, you're able to kind of handle the situation effectively and kind of roll with it a little bit. Now, the Star is all about hopes and dreams, but it's also a card of healing. But this, to me, is a card of deep healing. So I think with the Queen of Cups, like you started some type of healing process, or you've gained a certain level of healing or emotional control in a sense. And with the Magician, I think you're actually almost like leveling up, or you're moving forward with something. This could have been something that you want to try. I don't even think it's like a new direction, but something that you might want to try differently, but you have to like combine things. You have to figure out how to make it work. But I think the Star is almost like a real deep healing for you by the end of the month. Like I feel like maybe certain things you really kind of put to rest, or you're in a better emotional state. But this is all about hopes and dreams as well. So maybe some of you are really ready to kind of start moving forward with something that you've always wanted to do, or you're just able to even just move forward. Sometimes that's the hard part, is just moving forward. You know, maybe you don't have a full direction yet exactly where you want to go, but you know you just need to start going. So I think this is really positive. But your challenge is the Ace of Cups in reverse. Now, you don't want to block yourself. Like, the Ace of Cups is all about kind of this stirring of the heartstrings. You know, it's about emotions and, you know, kind of love and things like that. Things where we just enjoy or just make us feel kind of warm and fuzzy on the inside. But I feel like you really went through something a little bit tricky, and maybe you had to go through this Queen of Cups moment where you had to gain control of yourself emotionally. But I think you don't want to just shut your heart out. You don't want to have so much control. I think your challenge might be that you don't want to have so much control that you're not willing to try to give love a chance again, or open your heart again. I think that's what this is saying, because I think that you've gone through something, you had to really be very adult with it, and now you're willing to try something else or start something different. But the Star, you know, it's still about healing, but it's also a card sometimes you feel, I don't want to say a little bit wary, but it's like you've kind of, after a situation, you know, you're healing from it. But sometimes when you heal from something, it's almost like you could blocks up again because you don't want it ever to happen again. Because when things hit you and they hit you in the feels, they hit you real hard. So I think your challenge is not to just block your heart. Don't put that stone heart up. You know, give yourself a chance. Feel, if you get carried away again, you kind of get carried away again. But like, just know that you do have the emotional maturity to handle it again going forward. Like, that you're strong enough to kind of go through the whole process again. So I think you just don't block yourself. Don't block your heart is what I'm getting here. And the Knight of Swords, this is recommended for you. And this is, he's all in. Like, he's going. There is no stopping him. He's about, you know, being really committed to something fully. Mentally, you're so committed to something that this is what you're doing, and you're just moving on. You're just, no, you're not stopping. There's no blinders. There's no nothing. You're just going. So I think that this is saying that through this healing, through this emotional thing, don't stop. Like, the Magician, to me, he's playing around with something. He's trying to make something work. Like, he's doing something. So he's active. But I think part of the healing with the Star is to make sure that you don't get stuck. Because sometimes when you heal from something, you feel like, okay, well, I don't want to, I just healed from this. I just went through this. I don't want to now have a problem again. So I think you need to make sure that you're open and you're willing to kind of push forward, and you're keep moving forward, keep doing it, keep playing around with whatever this is, keep moving forward, and just know that you have the strength within you that if you hit up something again that kind of hits you in the feels, or it doesn't work out 100%, that you're going to get through it. So let's see what else the cards have to say for you. Okay, so first up we have Bobcat Spirit. Life is a mystery. And I think this is saying that sometimes you just got to trust the mystery. Sometimes you just have to trust it. You might not have all the answers. I think sometimes emotionally we get hung up on things because we don't always have closure. We don't always have like that, okay, why did this happen? Why? Sometimes we never get the answers. And sometimes if we do get an answer, it's not a good answer. It's not an answer that really helps you move forward or makes sense. So sometimes you just have to kind of go with it. You have to accept that, like, you know what, you may never know, you know, you may never really understand something. Something might not have gone quite the way you wanted it to. And you just have to trust that. I don't want to say when all hope is gone, like you just have to trust that somehow you're going to have the sunrise again, you know? So I think this is you just having to just move forward a little bit. And trust that you're on the right path, and somehow the good things are going to come to you. Because sometimes when you have faith, it helps keep you more of a positive mindset that things are going to get better or things are going to be good. And what's really meant for you is going to come to you. And sometimes it takes patience. And that is the hardest part. For me, I like things right now. In fact, I wanted them yesterday. But it's not always like that. Sometimes we don't understand why something's happening. But then occasionally, years could go by and then you realize something that you wanted that didn't work out, that you were really upset about, it was good that it didn't work out. Because sometimes you find out that, you know what, thank God that didn't work out, because that it was not good for me. It would have never been good and it would have been a disaster. So sometimes you just have to trust that in the moment that things are going on and it might not fully make sense. It might be upsetting, but there's a rhyme and a reason to it. And labradorite, see the magic. And I think that because I feel like with this energy, it's very healing. It's very about kind of picking up the pieces or trying to figure out the next stage. I think sometimes you have to see the little magic in your life that happens every day. Like sometimes it's synchronicities. It could just be, you could see a certain kind of bird that maybe has some kind of meaning to you, or it could even just be silly things. Like sometimes I love watching the birds because they're just silly. There was this one bird, I don't know, I think he was talking to like another lady bird. And I think his wife came by, and it was kind of funny because she was not happy. She was not having it. And that was all in my front yard. And I was like, look at this. There's like drama. It was like Jerry Springer kind of drama. But I was like, I'm here for it. I'm going to drink my coffee. I'm going to watch these birds get into this argument right here. And she was pissed at him. But it's silly things like that that could kind of help shift you out of sometimes the negative mindset. It's like just seeing the little things around you, even just the tiny little things that are amazing. Like it's amazing that even these birds, they have their own little society and they're just in my front yard. And then certain birds will hang out with other birds, but then they don't hang out with these other birds. Like there's like a lot of silly things that go on that unless you actually start paying attention to, you don't really realize they're happening. It's incredible. So I think just stay aware of what's going on around you, even if it's not necessarily your problems or things that are really affecting you, but little things, So abundance, keep a positive mindset, manifest exactly what you want, gratitude, bliss. And I think this is extremely important. I think that if you feel a little bit, because I think this healing, it's hard. When you get to this level, you kind of might feel, you've gone through it, you're at a place where you're able to digest it, you're able to kind of handle it now, but you might be like, well, what's the next step? Where do I go from here? So I think that you just have to keep that positive mindset, because I think that good things are definitely coming in for you, but you just need to kind of stay dedicated onto what you want, and you just need to continue on getting outside your comfort zone in a sense, because this healing thing, sometimes when we go through situations that are a little tricky, we are scared now to step outside the comfort zone. But I think this is saying that you are extremely capable with whatever this represents. You're extremely capable to make something work really well, because that's what the magician is. He's not giving up. He's kind of playing around with it. He's going to keep trying. And his whole thing is he's going to put on the best show that he can. So I think this is extremely, and he's out of his comfort zone. Like he's kind of more public, he doesn't know how each night is going to go when he's performing his act, but he rolls with it. So, and he learns each step of the way, each mistake he makes, he's going to learn, and somehow he's going to either incorporate it in the act or he's going to kind of figure out how to make it better next time. And the star is all about kind of having your hopes and dreams and trying to bring them to reality, but also kind of like healing as you go through that. So I definitely think that you need to just stay positive, be grateful for the things that have worked and are working, and just keep that like mindset that you have abundance, you're worth abundance, like you're worthy of gaining the abundance. And unrequited love, there's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. Now, for some of you, this may have been a previous situation where it could have involved love or something that was your heart really desired and it didn't quite work out, and it kind of left you feeling a certain type of way. It left you feeling upset or rejected. And, I feel like you've kind of gained a level of maturity with it, but within that, don't shut your heart out for the next situation or person. I think the magician is saying that you have everything you want, or you have everything you need to be able to attract something really, really positive, person or situation, whatever this represents for you. And you can have your dreams, like you can attain it, you can bring it down to earth, but you need to just be open for that. And you need to keep going, keep moving forward to what you want. So if there's something that you want or a certain type of person you want, you got to don't get sidetracked. And now we have, if you don't start thinking outside the box, it may eventually become your coffin. And I think that really is going with this Ace of Cups in reverse. So you don't want to close your heart off. You don't want to now stop yourself from, I don't want to say getting carried away, because the cups, it's all about emotions and your heart and everything. So sometimes we get carried away, but you don't want whatever situation has happened for you to close yourself off, that now you're not bringing in something really good for you. So you need to come at things a little differently sometimes. Like this guy, he's an outside the box thinker. Like he's going to play around with stuff. He's going to see how this goes. And he's just going to be like, okay, we're going to try to make this work. So sometimes you just have to keep trying at something. And before Alice got into Wonderland, she had to fall. And I think this was saying that you may have experienced some type of heartbreak, setback, whatever this represents for you. And sometimes you have to go through these things to kind of gain some kind of knowledge. And I feel like with the Queen of Cups here, I think you did mentally level up or emotionally level up in some kind of way. And I think that's extremely positive, especially with this Magician and the Star. I think you're definitely in a very good place this month. But I think everybody falls at some time. Nobody's life is perfect. So we all kind of go through this. So don't close yourself off. And for your little affirmation we have, today I am excited. Today is going to be the best day ever. And I think that's extremely positive. And I think sometimes you got to tell yourself that. And that's definitely a great affirmation. Now let's see what Bob Ross has to say for you. And success with painting leads to success with many things. It carries over into every part of your life. And I think this is saying that with this Magician energy, whatever you're kind of playing around with, I think certain things are going to work out, certain things are not going to work out. Focus on the things that are working out, because I think you're going to be able to hone that. And I think it might even help you heal even further. Sometimes when we have a little bit of a confidence boost or something, we're able to do something or something goes well, it kind of boosts your energy a little bit. And it's like, I can do this. So I think with the Star energy, I think this is also you now trying to figure out the bigger picture in a sense, and maybe kind of healing from some of the past things. But this is going to allow you to be able to push forward and really go bigger. So I think this is really positive, but definitely focus on the successes, acknowledge the non-successes, the failures, but sometimes those failures are really what helps you gain success in the long run. Nobody that's ever done anything really big or successful, all of them failed. Some of those people probably have more failures than successes, but the difference is they didn't give up. They kept trying, they kept learning, they kept trying to make it work. They kept putting on the show. Sometimes you feel you got to fake it till you make it sometimes. So I think if you had some kind of setback, that doesn't mean you're not good at it. It doesn't mean it's not for you. It just means that you got to come a little different, because there might be a way you could do it that's just much better for you, or maybe the universe, your spirit guides, your angels, whoever's you feel is on your side is helping guide you into the better direction. So, and let's see what spirit of the dish you're going to have. You got two of them, so I'm taking both. You have the Page of Sweets and you have the Chinese. So the Page of Sweets is the spirit of the cupcake, and the Chinese is the spirit of the Chinese food. So that will be with you this month. For your dinner and a movie, you have drama, movies, and Italian food. For the energies that you either need to tap into or be aware of is you have Libra, and this is all about love, money, and powers of attraction, and they're also about balancing the scale. So you might need to bring some type of balance into your life. And you also have Capricorn here, which is about restrictions, responsibilities, and life lessons, and they're hard workers. So something might feel like you might need to kind of be a little bit more persistent with, or I don't want to say work a little harder with, but you might need to be a little bit more structured as far as whatever this is that you're working on, whatever this magician aspect represents for you. You might need to like kind of work on it a little bit more to get it right. You also have the North Node here, which is about destiny. And you have Mars here, and this is about energy, initiative, and temper. You have the first house, which represents appearance, ego, and the interests and yourself. And then you have the 10th house, which represents social status, career, and aspirations. Now, this is number 6 on the dice. And so number 6 is an even number. So the special guest that'll be answering your questions today, Libra, will be Mr. Predicto. Think of those questions. He's going to be out here shortly. RTEVURMIS, and you have the number 2. And you have inspire. And I think that's really good. And I think if you're feeling inspired, you just need to kind of go with it. Because I feel like with the Knight of Swords, he's inspired. Like he's very committed to something and he's definitely doing it. So I think you might need to have that inspiration energy a little bit. And with the Magician, like he's inspired. And his whole inspiration is to kind of create something amazing. So... and in that, sometimes, you know, you have setbacks, but if you stay inspired with something, it's going to help keep you focused. Let's see what little charmy we get for you. Okay, so you have the lightning bolt here. And this is saying that you need to be laser focused on something. Because when the lightning comes down, it hits a spot and it kind of like knows where it's going. It has a direct target. So I think you need to kind of stay focused on your direct target and kind of hit it with all your might in a sense. Like because the Knight of Swords, he's rushing forward. Like he knows exactly what he wants and there's no talking him out of it. Like he's like, no. This is it. This is it. So I think you need to kind of be super focused right now. And I think whatever you want or whatever this reading represents for you, you need to put your energy into that. Okay, now it is time. Let's bring them over. Okay, Libras, think of those questions and let us ask. Oh, Mr. Predicto, the most accurate prediction device that's ever run off of batteries. What is the answer to Libra's question?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. He said yes. Mr. Predicto is a man of many words, and that was the word he chose to speak here today. I hope you all have a wonderful month, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.